Hello, YouTube viewers out there. It is Sebastian's moving game time, and I'm sorry it took me this long to record a new episode. So happy Mondays, and I was the reason why I haven't recorded a brand new episode because last month, like in July, I went to San Diego Comic Con. It was fun. It's always fun going down there. If you're able to get one day or a whole day pass at Comic Con San Diego, it's really fun. So I had fun down there, and it's nice weather. So I'm back home. So on today episode 37, I believe that I'm about to record today on this Monday. I'm going to be reviewing movies from 2014. And there's a couple of movies that I forgot to mention when I was talking about the 2011 movies, the movies that I reviewed. I forgot there were two more movies I forgot to talk about back in 2011 when I give the movies review out, when I review those movies. I forgot about two. So before we get to 2014 movie reviews, I'm gonna finish off a couple of 2011 movies, and then we'll move on. I'll move on to 2014 movies that I saw. So let's get started, shall we? First off, we have Taken. Now, Taken, you should know this movie, Taken. The movie's about a man from the slums of parts of the city who gets taken part in the championship of mixed martial arts fighting championship arena. Like I said, this Taken movie is based on a video game. Remember the old school arcade? You go inside an arcade and you put in quarters or tokens inside this game called Taken. It's like a fighting game that it has the buttons and the joysticks to control your character fighting. Well, this movie Taken, there's a movie Taken based upon the video game, and I think PlayStation 2 had it on this. I think PlayStation 2 released it on this video game as well too. So yeah, there's a movie called Taken. I thought it was. I liked the mixed martial art fights in it. It was cool, almost like the game that I was playing. Taken stars Kelly Overton. I give Taken movie 2 out of 3 stars, and we come to the last 2011 movie, and this is a straight to DVD video sequel called Blue Crush 2. And as you're aware, I'm sure all of you are aware and know about this, but there's an original movie called Blue Crush that came out in 2002. While cut forward to 2011, there's a straight to DVD movie called Blue Crush 2. It's nothing like. There's some aspects story almost kind of like the original Blue Crush movie, but the sequel's different though. It's set like an Australian, and the original first Blue Crush movie that came out 2002, it was filmed like Oahu, like Hawaiian Islands. Well, and the second one, it was filmed like in the Sydney, Australian, or it's set like an Australian movie on the surfing ocean parts. Blue Crush 2 is about a teenage girl who goes to South Australia to after her mother died, and she takes part of a surfing contest to find out is she the best surfing competitor against the other surfer contenders. Like I said, Blue Crush 2, it's nothing like the first Blue Crush movie. It's a whole different story, and like I said, Blue Crush 2 is filmed like in Australia, so that's the only difference of the original Blue Crush. But Blue Crush 2 stars um, um, Lizzie Matthews, and Sherry Vincent. I give Blue Crush 2 out of 3 stars. Okay, now we have movies from 2014 I saw in theaters and ones I didn't see in theaters. So we have the Grand Budapest Hotel. It's about a writer as he narrates a story about a hotel manager who gets framed for murder of a wealthy woman, and he gets framed for murder that someone pinned on him, and he must clear his name. The Grand Budapest Hotel, it's a Wes Anderson movie. So if you like Wes Anderson movies like The World Tenenbaums, Bottle Rocket, Life Aquatic with Steve Zulu, or the Darjeeling Limited. If you like Wes Anderson's movies, then you will like the Grand Budapest Hotel. It's an ensemble cast movie that stars Ralph Fiennes, Saoirse Ronan from The Lovely Bones, William Dafoe, Adrian Brody, Jeff Goldblum, Owen Wilson. Because Owen Wilson and Wes Anderson, they're like 2 best collaborator buddies. So Owen Wilson's in it as well. Harvey Keitel appears in it. Bill Murray, Taylor Swinton, and who else? Edward Norton, William Dafoe. I think I said his name. Not really sure I did, but it's a Wes Anderson movie, The Grand Budapest Hotel. So just be prepared for the quirky. Just prepare for the quirkiness, the quirky humor in the film, if you're a fan of those film genres and Wes Anderson's films. So, I give the Grand Budapest Hotel 2 out of 3 stars. We have Into the Woods. Disney's Into the Woods. It's about a witch who lives in the woods, and also it's about a baker. And his family. They must find a way to defeat this witch who lives in the woods. Like I said, it's a Disney movie, Into the Woods. It stars Meryl Streep, Emily Blunt, James Corden, Anna Kendrick, Chris Pine, and Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp doesn't have a whole lot of part role in the movie. He's only in it for about, I don't know, like 10 or 15 minutes. He plays the character who goes by the name of the Wolf. That one of the characters encounter when she goes into the forest, deep in the forest. He has some good scenic moment. He has some great scenic moment. Scene of Johnny Depp. Like I said, Johnny Depp is not in it that much in the film. He's only in it for like a brief, short amount of time, because maybe he was busy making another movie at the time, the same time as he made this movie, Into the Woods, and he didn't have time to find scheduling conflicts with his other movie that he was filming. So I'm thinking that's why. I'm not really sure, but Johnny Depp had a good part in it, I must say. Into the Woods, I get 2 out of 3 stars. We have Rimwood, The Road of the Dead. It's about a man who must save and rescue his sister, who's been kidnapped during the zombie apocalyptic disaster world events. It's a crazy zombie movie, and it's set like it's an Australian zombie movie. Wormwood, The Road of the Dead. There was some great zombie gore, your typical zombie violence, gore, and blood, bloody, violence, your typical zombie that you see in every zombie film genre. So, but it's an Australian movie, Wormwood, The Road of the Dead. It stars Jay Gallagher and Bianca Berkeley. I give Wormwood, The Road of the Dead, 2 out of 3 stars. We have It Follows. It's about a teenage girl who gets supernatural curse by a stranger, and every time she touches somebody, the curse passes on to another person. This is a movie that a lot of horror fans really appreciate. This film, It Follows. Me, Well, for me, I'm not. I mean, there were some good and spooky elements, moment scenes in it. I want to say there were some scary moment scenes in it, but um, it's a different kind of a horror movie, I should say. It stars Micah Monroe. Um, I give It Follows 2 out of 3 stars. We have A Walk Among the Tombstones. It's about a private investigator who gets help from who helps a drug dealer to find the people, two weird guys who murder his wife and murder her, and who has abducted another victim, a young girl, and the private investigator must do everything he can to find these two weird guys who did this, who butchered and murdered the drug dealer's wife and abducted this young girl. Um, it's an intense movie, and it's Liam Neeson movie. So whenever see this type of movie genre, it's gonna be very intense at times. Liam Neeson does what he does best, like always, like he's always known for. So A Walk Among a Tombstone stars Liam Neeson, Dan Stevens, and and do you know who's also in this Walk Among a Tombstones movie? By name of Asteroid. I don't know his whole name. I don't know the whole kid's name. All I know is that the kid's name is Asteroid. Well, apparently that African American kid from American Idol who gives Simon gives a hard time, you know, during American Idol show on that episode of American Idol. Well, that's the kid who appears in this movie, A Walk Among the Tombstones. And this movie, Welcome on Tombstones, also stars David Harbour. Before he was Sheriff Harbour and Netflix Stranger Things, and he went on to do other movies. Well, David Harbour, he plays like a weirdo. I wouldn't say, yeah, he plays like a weirdo, kind of a serial killer character role in this movie. If you've seen this movie, Welcome on the Tombstones, I'm thinking all of you viewers are going to be very disturbed by David Harbour for what his character does in this movie. Because this movie, David Harbour, in this Walk Among Tombstones movie, he plays like a weirdo type of weird guy character. And if you see this movie, some of you viewers are going to be disturbed by him because he's very disturbing in this movie. Or he showed us his character plays a very disturbing role. But, so David Harbour's in it. I give Walk Among the Tombstones 2 out of 3 stars. And finally, we come to the last movie of 2014, the third Expendables, which is the Expendables 3. It's about the Expendables leader, Barney Ross, that's the leader name, and his Expendable team mercenaries. As the leader, Barney Ross, with his old team, and he hires new team members to be part of his Expendables team as they track down a drug lord who happens to be, and this guy that the leader Barney Ross and the leader of the Expendables and his team, where they realize that the person that they're going up against, or their mission is to go up against, it happens to be a former guy who he and Barney Ross, they founded the Expendables team together. Like they were part of the same team. Like they founded this team and started this team. And he was like a former Expendable who co-founded the team with Barney Ross's character. So Barney Ross meets his former Expendable friend who turned like an arms dealer. So what can I say about that third Expendables movie? Well, I wouldn't say it's not my favorite Expendables movie, the third one. I still think Expendables Part 2 is still my favorite. Even today now, it still is. But I thought the third Expendables movie was really fun. I was kind of a little disappointed though. I was kind of a little disappointed with the third Expendables movie. Because like the first 2 Expendables movies, they were like R-rated. And this third Expendables movie, for the first time, it's a PG-13. And I was kind of let down and very disappointed that that this Dirty Expendables movie got PG-13, because I'm not. Now look, I'm not saying this, but I read somewhere that I looked up on Aaron. I looked up online and I said, how come a lot of people, like younger viewers, like watching PG-13 movies instead of R-rated movies? And I come to realize that, well, because PG-13 movie, when people come see a PG-13 movie, doesn't matter if it's an action or is it a comedy or drama, whatever, or horror movies, whatever. Sorry. Um, Apparently, I looked up and said, how come people love PG-13 movies better than R-rated movies? And it turns out, well, because PG-13 movies, they get more crowded viewers to come and see this film. And if it's R-rated, there are a lot of viewers who won't come and see it if it's R-rating. Like, they want to take the younger ones to see it. So I was like, oh, well. But, I mean, for Expendables movie, it shouldn't be PG-13. Because all the cast, all the action legend stars in this Expendables movies, they have done R-rated movies in the past, from the 80s, the 70s, and the 90s, and the early 2000s. They're known for R-rated movies. They're not known now. A lot of them, a lot of these action stars, even though they're known for R-rated past action movies, but they've done action movies in the past where they were PG-13 ones, and you know those were fine as well, but. So I mean, but it is what it is, and so I was like, oh, Expendables Freeze Freeze 13. But you know, I still went and saw it, and I saw it. I still went in watching it, because the third Expendables movie, it stars Sylvester Stallone, who is the team leader of the Expendables. Um, Jason Statham is back as well. Jet Li is back. Terry Crews is back. Um, Randy Couture, mixed martial artist. Dolph Lundgren from Rocky 4 is back as well. And also you got sorry. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so the Dirty Expendables movie, it stars Sylvester Stallone, actually, who's back as the team leader. Jet Li appears in it. It was cool to see him. Jason Statham, obviously, it's cool to see him back. Randy Couture was pretty good to see him. Terry Crews, comedian Terry Crews, is in it. Too bad he only has like a small amount of screen time in his third chapter movie. To be honest, that's what I was so happy about. Um, Dolph Lundgren, Dolph Lundgren is back from Rocky 4. Is back as the loose cannon character of the Expendables. And also, is also back in his third one, Arnold Schwarzenegger. So it's cool to see Arnold Schwarzenegger come back as his character from the first two Expendables movies. It was cool. And you got new cast members as the new Expendables team members. You have Victor Ortiz, a Victor Ortiz, a wrestler. You have Killian Lutz from the Twilight movies, the Vampire Twilight movies. You have Glenn Powell. Now this before Glenn Powell, before he has a lot of movie resumes now. I mean, this year Glenn Powell did the Twisters movie. He did a Netflix movie called Hitman by Richard Linklater. And last year, was that last year? Yeah, last year he did a rom-com, a romantic comedy movie, which I really enjoyed, co-starring Sydney Sweeney, in a film called Anyone But You. And he appeared in the sequel, A Ride Along, with Ice Cube and Kevin Hart. And he did another Richard Linklater movie back in 2016 when he was starting out acting, Glenn Powell, called Everybody Wants Some. Well, Glenn Powell is the new member in this Dirty Expendables movie on the team. So this is like before he had his movie, before he's in every movie that he's done this past 2 years. So, who else? Oh, you got Antonio Banderas. It was cool to see Antonio Banderas in Expendables movie because he is an action star. I mean, he did Desperado. He did other movies in the 90s of action films. So see Antonio Banderas, he was like a scene stealer. He was so funny because he plays a character. Antonio Banderas plays a character in the third Expendables movie, who's who who can who's kind of out of control, but that's his personality that he has and that he's dealing with. But he was funny and yeah, he has some great scene stealing moments. And also too about the what's so cool about this third Expendables movie, because I'm not sure you know about this, but back in the 90s, like in the mid 90s, like 1995, Antonio Banderas did did an action movie with Sylvester Stallone. And that film that Antonio Banderas and Stallone did, just the two of them together, was a film called Assassins from the 90s. It's a 90s action movie, Assassins. Antonio Banderas, I think that's where Antonio Banderas and Stallone first met each other on that movie. So it was cool that Stallone and Antonio's character have some screen time, just the two of them in this third one. It was cool, like Assassin's Reunion. So, um, oh, and Ronda Rousey appears in it. Oh, Ronda Rousey, yeah, Ronda Rousey. We don't hear too much of her nowadays. But I mean, when she did this Dirt Expendables movie, Ronda Rousey, when she did this Dirt Expendables movie, she was like supposed to be like the next big, action martial arts wrestler or mixed martial arts fighter. And she is a great mixed martial arts fighter, Ronda Rousey. All her skills and techniques and physical abilities. But we don't see too much and hear about Ronda Rousey anymore these days. So it's kind of a low shame, But she was great at the Dirk Expendables movie. I mean, she did her character did some cool things in the Dirk Expendables movie, so it was cool. Who else? Oh, it's also in this movie, and I was so happy to see back in the movie because apparently he went, he stayed out of the spotlight. Wesley Snipes. That's actually one of the main things. That was actually one of the main things I was so happy about seeing the third Expendables movie. Well, despite the fact that being a PG-13 Expendables movie, the third one, but I was happy. But I was more happy to see Wesley Snipes. And I was like, Wesley Snipes plays like an expendable team member. So it was cool to see Wesley Snipes come back and a big screen action movie like this. And, we miss Wesley Snipes. We haven't seen him in the big action movie picture for a long time. So it was cool that he made a comeback in his Dirty Expendables movie, Wesley Snipes. I mean, it was cool to see him. He even has some cool action moment scenes like he always has, like he had before in the past movies. He has some cool action moment scenes in this Wesley Snipes. It was cool to see him, and it was cool to see him do the Expendables movie. And I was like, it's about time. About time someone like Wesley Snipes should be an Expendables movie because he's an action legend icon. Come on, everybody knows that. I know that. So it was cool seeing Wesley Snipes in an Expendables movie. I was so happy to see him. So good for him. Harrison Ford. Oh, another great audition, another great cast addition to the third Expendables movie is Harrison Ford. You gotta have Harrison Ford in the Expendables movie. Come on. Oh, come on. He's done Indiana Jones movies. He's played the Han Solo character in the Star Wars movies. I mean, come on. He did Star Wars movies. He is Indiana Jones. He was the president of the United States who fight terrorists on board on his plane, Air Force One. He was like a CIA analyst, and the two Jack Ryan, like Patriot Games and Clear Prison Danger. So I mean, how could you not want to have Harrison Ford in an expendable movie like this? You have to include Harrison Ford. He is like a legend. So it was cozy Harrison Ford, who kind of takes over the Bruce Willis's character, mysterious secret agency character that he plays in this Dirk Expendables movie. And Harrison Ford has a cool action moment scene at the climax battle at the end of the movie. He has a cool action moment scene towards the climax battle at the end of this movie. So seeing Harrison Ford in there, it was cool. And let's see who else. Oh, and that actor from that TV show Frasier, Kelsey Grammer, is in the movie as well too. And who else? Oh, Robert Davi, a character actor named Robert Davi. He quickly appears as a small quick part in the Dirty Expendables movie. He's from the first Die Hard movie, Robert Davi, and he's one of the bad guys in the kids' '80s classic '80s kid movie, The Goonies. So it was cool seeing Robert Davi appeared in the Dirty Expendables movie. So, and do you know who the main bad guy is in the Dirty Expendables movie? And when I heard about it, I was like, oh, really? That the main bad guy villain in this Dirty Expendables movie, it's no longer than Mel Gibson. That's right, Mel Gibson, who played Martin Riggs in the Lethal Weapon movies, who was William Wallace in Braveheart, many other good films he's did. Mel Gibson plays like the main villain. It was cool to see Mel Gibson playing the bad guy in the Dirty Expendables movie. It was cool seeing him, and he has some Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson has some cool moment scenes in the Dirty Expendables movie as well. So, and there's a quick fight scene at the end of the movie between Stallone's character and Mel Gibson's character. That was a cool fight scene between them two. Um, but yeah, I mean, and like I said, I wouldn't consider the third Expendables movie my favorite Expendable movie. I still like the second one a lot way more better. But I still had fun watching the third Expendables movie. It had nonstop action and battle scenes in it. Cool, one-liner humor jokes and badass moment action scenes by each, and all the action stars in this The Dirty Expendables movie, they all have their character shine moment scenes in this movie, so they all deserve a piece of a performance in this film. But like I said, it was cool to see Harrison Ford as a new cast member. It's about time you get Harrison Ford to do an Expendables movie like in this type of movie like this, because he's a legend. You got Wesley Snipes back. It was cool. Mel Gibson playing the bad guy. Cool. So I give that third Expendables movie. And like I said, all the characters in this movie, they all have their time to shine moment action scenes in this film, especially towards the climax finale battle that happens at the end of the movie. Um, I give the Dirty Expendables movie 2 out of 3 stars. Okay, everybody, that would do it for episode 37 of Sebastian's Movie Game Time. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and get new content episodes every Mondays. So thank you again for tuning in, and thank you for watching episode 37 of Sebastian's Movie Game Time. And I will see all of you at the movies. Oh, sorry, let me try again. I'll see all of you at the movies.